So what is Pega? We'll go ahead and see. See, Pega is not the technology name, it's the name of a company, Pega Systems. Okay, so Pega Systems is the company which has come forward and given a web application development environment, okay, which is called Pega Rules Process Commander. Okay, so Pega Rules Process Commander is an environment wherein which you will design, develop, deploy, execute the applications. Okay, now as he told, or as we have heard about it, it is a BPM tool. Okay, so first of all, why it is a BPM tool? Okay, mainframes is a middle level language, right? And Java is object oriented technology, similarly .NET, and C is a middle level, something like that. And other technologies are different, they have different kind of whatever it belongs to, middle level or object oriented, like that. So Pega is still object oriented, we'll come to that later. So for our convenience we call it as Pega only, okay, every time, because people do not much know about when you say PRPC. Okay, so for our convenience we'll say it is a Pega. Okay, so Pega is a BPM tool. So why it is called BPM tool? See, what are the BPM tools that we have in the market? Today's market is, we have Pega, Appian, and then IBM Lombard, and Oracle BPM, Cordis, Blaze. So like this we have different kinds of BPM tools available in the market. See, what makes that to call a particular environment, we do not say it is a technology for now, because Java is a technology, Pega is not a technology, it's a tool. So what made it to call as a BPM? Okay, so in order to know about it, we just go ahead and understand some background about BPM. So what is BPM? Okay, so before I proceed, I just want to let you know one thing is, Mahendra or Uday, at any point of time you can stop me and ask me any questions or any doubts you have, if you are finding any gaps in understanding and all. Okay, so now let us go ahead. So BPM stands for Business Process Management, which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a multi-step transaction that spans multiple applications and people in one or more organizations. Okay, so now coming to the definition, we try to understand this definition in detail. So this is just the abbreviation of BPM, is Business Process Management, which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a multi-step transaction that spans multiple applications and people in one or more organizations. So first of all, in this definition, what is meant by a transaction? Okay, so let's think about throughout our demo in a business perspective. Let's take, for example, a banking domain. See, when you go to a bank, okay, you have deposited some amount of money. That means you have done a unit of work. Okay, so whether through application or manually, whatever it is. So in the business terminology, the work that you have done with respect to banking technology, say suppose, is called a transaction you have done. So you have done a transaction of money deposit. So when you do a third party transfer, you have done a transaction of third party transfer. So a unit of work or a set of operations, it includes a set of operations. Say suppose an operation that is being performed, okay, in a business way is said to be a transaction. Okay, so now what is meant by a multi-step transaction? Okay, so now let us go to slide 5 to understand this multi-step transaction. This slide 5 just represents a simple ATM card flow money withdrawal process. See, when we go to ATM center, so what we do, the application will be already started and we'll give the card number and PIN number. See, once you give the card number and PIN number, inside the application or the machine we say, and it will be verified. Then as per the matching or unmatching, it will be processed and will get the money or will not get the money, something happens. So this particular money withdrawal process, everything is said to be one single transaction. Okay, when you have done it again, you have done one more transaction. Okay, so now in this transaction, as an end user, say suppose I am an end user. Okay, I go to a ATM machine. Okay, I withdraw the money, give the card number. So the verification of the number, I don't see it outside. So as an end user, I cannot represent this. Okay, if someone comes to me and asks me, okay, go ahead and what you have done, just represent in the form of a flow, I cannot represent it, this one, because I don't see it outside. So who has the capability to see all these things? the processing and the verification. So a developer can see that. Okay, a developer can only look into all these things. Okay, so now this representation of a flow kind of architecture with respect to the development point of view I have given. Okay, so in the development of this particular unit of operation, okay, of money withdrawal process, I have represented in the form of a flow diagram, where in the flow diagram I have taken each operation at one single specific step. The application is triggering at one step, and the input giving the input at another step, and I have connected each of these things, and the verification of the card number and PIN number I have given at the third step. So that is been connected to the previous step, and processing of this one has been given at the fourth step, and the fifth step the application closing once you get the money. Okay, so like this, the development view of a particular operation unit of work has been divided into multiple steps in the form of a flow diagram, and you have completed the business implementation. Okay, whatever that you want to go ahead and do. So this way of implementation you will follow in the BPM. So in a BPM you will follow any task you want to implement, you will follow this workflow architecture by dividing this particular task and this particular unit of work into simple tasks, and each and every task can be performed at single step. Okay, so in this way you have divided your one single transaction into multiple steps. At each and every step a single unit of operation is happening. So this is what a multi-step transaction. Okay, so a transaction on its way of development representation which has been divided into multiple steps is called a multi-step transaction. So any questions or doubts, Mahendra or Uday? No doubts. Thank you.
No, Harsha.
So now we'll go ahead and try to understand other things. So now what is meant by which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts? Okay, what is meant by the ability? Having the ability to give you the end-to-end solutions means, let us take any project. So with respect to the development client, I am talking about it now. So I'm a TCS or I'm a company. Okay, sorry to say that. I'm a company. Okay, I'm going to develop some of the any of the application. So from a client, first phase for me is getting the requirements. Once I hear the requirements from the client, I start doing the analysis and then design and development, and then test it in the test region, and then move it to the production. There the business runs. See, once you move to the production, you say that the project has been completed. So there is another phase in this development, so which is called reporting phase. Okay, after some business has run, I want to generate the reports to see what is happening, how it is happening, and yeah, day-to-day transactions or weekly transactions or monthly transactions. So that reporting feature is not been provided for other technologies in the same environment. Like if you take Java, you need to go ahead and get the reporting from outside by using the Crystal reports, by using what is that other tools, business intelligence, some of the tools. Yes, so like this you have to use third-party tools. And when you go to the Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft Visual Studio, like .NET, you need to go for MSBA, their own tool. But still it is a separate, it needs to be installed. Similarly, for every technology, you need to go ahead with a third-party tool that needs to be integrated. But in a BPM, on the same environment, after the development and production move, you can also generate the reports. That means the reports development also can be done in the same environment. So that is what meant by providing the ability to have end-to-end visibility of the work. That means this particular BPM environment provides you end-to-end solutions for your application from the requirement phase to complete reporting phase. On the tool, you can go ahead and do it. That is what meant by providing the end-to-end visibility over all parts of the work that you are going to do. So any questions or doubts? And here you go ahead with what is meant by spanning multiple applications and people in one or more organizations. So spanning multiple people means, say suppose in my application, so in my project, okay, I have different kinds of people working on this with different roles. Okay, so I'm a developer, okay, and there is another person who is working on my application. He is a tester. There is another guy, he is an admin. There is another person, he is a business analyst, and a manager is there. Finally end user will be there. So these are the people who are being spanned from the same application to give them different access levels to the application. So that means different people have different roles. So the BPM environment can create multiple people, in the sense can create the IDs or the login IDs with different roles. So that is what meant by spanning multiple people in an organization. And here you go ahead, what is meant by spanning multiple applications. Okay, so let's say today I have developed one core banking application. Okay, so I am doing all the business transactions related to banking. Okay, so tomorrow I am planning to provide my customers with a vehicle insurance. So what I will do is, while developing the vehicle insurance application, I will reuse the things which are already been available in my bank. Okay, and span this new application from the old application. That is what meant by framework and implementation development. Say suppose I want to provide loans to my customers from day after tomorrow. So I'll develop the loan application by reusing the existing things in my banking application. So that is what meant by reusability from the framework to the implementations. So I mean to say here, like, say suppose a person who steps into a bank for a loan, and a person who steps into a bank for a bank account, and a person who steps into a bank for a vehicle insurance, these three persons have to go ahead and complete their user profile form, giving their basic details to the bank. So this basic details is a common functionality for these three of the people. So I can go ahead and develop all this common functionality in a framework. So the framework can be reused under the implementations, so that I can extend my application with a new implementation by reusing the existing things from the framework. So that is what meant by spanning multiple applications in the BPM environment. That means BPM environment provides you the way of development of implementing the framework. From the framework you can go ahead and implement, have the implementation layers. That is called implementation applications. So this is what meant by spanning multiple applications. So now the definition must be clear to you. BPM stands for business process management. So which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a multi-step transaction that spans multiple applications and people in one or more organization. That means BPM environment provides you BPM provides you an environment wherein which on the environment you can go ahead and span multiple roles and span multiple applications by going ahead and developing the framework and implementations. And it will provide you an environment wherein which you can do the things from design phase to the complete reporting phase. So by providing all these things, BPM manages the way that your business have to be processed. Okay, so this is what meant by BPM. So any doubts or questions? Udaya and Mahinder, Teja.
No, Harsha.
Good, right? So let's go ahead now. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Here you go ahead with traditional application development and BPM application development. So what is the difference between normal application development when you develop the applications using any object-oriented technology, and when you develop the same applications using BPM? So we are not going to see in depth for now. Okay, we'll try to understand on top. Later you will understand better. Okay, once you start working on it. So in a traditional application development, we are going to design the user interface and define the business logic, and we are going to access the data from the database. So for all these three things, we are going to create three different layers: UI layer, logic layer, and data layer. The communication will be from user interface to logic, and logic to database, database back to logic, back to UI, like this. So now in a BPM application development environment, you still design the user interface, you apply the logic and access the data by creating three different layers called UI layer, logic layer, and database layer. Apart from these three, you are going to create one more thing called process. Process is the one which will be called as a workflow. Okay, so ultimately when you develop these three things, UI, logic, and data will be combinedly being integrated into a workflow diagram. And once you trigger the workflow will trigger these three, any of these three. It depends on the order that you are going to add in the workflow. So at this point of time, what you need to understand is, additional to the UI, logic, and database layers, we are going to create one more thing in BPM development environment called workflow. So if you want to trigger your application, the initial triggering point will be your workflow. The workflow will trigger the UI, logic, and database. How it triggers, we'll be learning later. Okay, So this is what the difference between traditional application development and a BPM application development. So I told here this workflow is called a process. So now, what do you mean by a process? A process is a unit of work that can be completed either by acceptance or rejection. So that means the process is something wherein which you are going to do some operation. Okay, it is going to perform some task for you, and it will be completed whenever it is been accepted or whenever it is been rejected. Yes, Teja, cheppu.
Harsha, your voice is getting cut in the middle.
Disconnecting. Oh, sorry, my signal strength is low here. Let me hang on for a minute. Mahinder, is it the same for you and Uday also? My voice breaking?
Yes, sir, it is breaking
Okay,
actually.
I'm sorry. When it has been broken and the second slide is okay for you or what?
From starting onwards, it is breaking. But not that much. So that's why I didn't.
So far you are good or you have any gap? But difference between traditional application development and BPM application. Now the signal has come. It's a good strength. Hello, Mahendra, can you please respond whether are you good with traditional application development and BPM application development? Or you want me to go ahead?
Yes, I'm going to it.
No, are you good with what I said or
No.
you want me to repeat?
One sentence like that you can tell me, please.
Yeah, see, in a traditional application development, you will have the user interface, business logic and database. So in a BPM, you have the same things, UI logic and database layers. Additional to this, you are going to have one workflow. In order to say that you are going to perform some task, you need to trigger the workflow. The workflow will trigger your user interface, business logic and database. So this workflow is said to be a process. So additionally, you are going to create one more thing called process. Okay. So now, what do you mean by a process? Okay, Teja, నాకు చెప్పండి ఎప్పుడన్నా ఇది అయితే. Okay. So break అయితే. So process is a unit of work that can be that can be completed either by acceptance or rejection. Okay. So what do you mean by this? Let us say you are going to submit a leave request in your leave request application to your manager. Once you just give me a minute. Why it is going? So am I audible clearly, Teja?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So once
now it is okay, but
just to stop me once it is being broken. Okay. So once you submit a leave request to the manager, manager will open the leave request. He will either approve or reject it. Okay, let me tell you, when he approves the leave request is said to be completed. Okay, so approved, completed. And what about when he rejects the leave request? Whenever he rejected it, so Mahendra, is the request completed or not?
Complete.
So even
if it is rejected, it will be coming back to the user who has
no, it is not coming back to the user. So it will be rejected, completed. Okay, even though he reject, see, if you want to apply it again, what you have to do, you have to create one more request ID. Okay, that means by that time, see, here you go ahead and withdraw the money, okay, from ATM. So you have got the money, it has been verified successfully, you got the money, and finally it is ended. That means it is completed. Transaction has been completed. Transaction ID will be generated. Now, once it is been deducted from your account, everything is fine, but still you did not get the money. In that case also, transaction is completed, but the transaction is completed unsuccessfully for you. Yeah, if you want to do withdraw the money again, what you need to do? You need to create one more transaction. Okay, that is what. So process is something which can be completed in either of the ways, whether it is completed successfully or completed unsuccessfully. Finally, you say that the process has been completed. So clear? Are any questions or doubts? Good, right? Okay. So now see if you want to develop applications using some technology. Okay. So you need an environment that is called integrated development environment. So for AS400, you need an environment to develop the applications. Similarly, for Java, you need Eclipse. For .NET, you need Microsoft Visual Studio. Okay, IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Similarly, in a BPM, you need an environment to develop the applications, which is called BPM suite. So a BPM suite is a software system that allows for the direct execution of the business process considering the built-in business rules. That means BPM suite is a business is an environment wherein which you will design, develop, and deploy the applications by using built-in business rules. So what do you mean by a business rule now? Okay, so business rule ante enti. So Mahendra, you are from AP.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, okay, then fine.
Yeah, I'm Telugu.
Yeah, Telugu, right? So if at all I use something like some in between Telugu language, you need to understand. Okay, then fine. It's fine. So now, business rule is a statement. Think of a business rule as a statement aimed to influence the behavior of a system. So what do you mean by this? Consider the financial transaction business process for credit cards. A simple business rule may be the total amount can due by a customer should not exceed customer's credit limit. That means, say suppose I have a credit card in my hand. My credit limit is 2 lakhs. So I went to a purchase center and I have purchased 3 lakhs. And I'm going to pay my 3 lakhs rupees of amount on my credit card by swiping it, and I've given 3 lakhs. So what it says, hey, your limit is only 2 lakhs. Your transaction has been declined. Okay. So now this limit is some business rule that is being applied on my credit card that is influencing the behavior of my credit card application or my credit card. So business rule is something which influences the behavior of some other system. So now let's say suppose we'll give one real time example. I am driving on a car on a road. Now while I am driving, I see a red signal on the road. Okay, what I'll do, I'll stop before zebra crossing. Okay, so what is the red signal? The red signal is a traffic rule that is been applied on me that is influencing my behavior in the society. That means similar to the traffic signal, traffic rule, business rule is something which is being applied on some system that influences the behavior of that particular system. So here in the case of this credit card, limit is a business rule that influences the behavior of the credit application. Now, if at all there is a business rule, means that business rule influencing some other system means that business rule should be residing somewhere. See, on my card, my limit is 2 lakhs. So this 2 lakhs should be residing somewhere on my card number. Based on my card number, it should be residing somewhere. So where it will be available? Where it will be residing? The business rule.
Limits file. Whatever the where we set up the limits for particular card.
Yeah, where we'll set up the limits for the cards and all.
Obviously, it's a database.
Database. Obviously, it is a database. So, like this, there will be many of business rules. All the business rules reside in a database, relational database that is called business rules database. So, business rules database is something which is like a residing point for all the business rules. So, now in a BPM, so far, we have a workflow architecture, we have business rules, and all the business rules will be residing in a business rules database. So now business rules are there in business rules database residing. So, and the application is here now. There should be something behind the scenes which will drive this business rule from the database to the application, right? So, edo undali kada dinu drive cheyalante. So that is called business rules engine. Business rules engine is a program. It's a software program which drives the business rules from the business rules database to the application in order to achieve the goal. So it's like a program, logic, business logic. Okay, from the database it will pick and drive to the application in order to achieve the goal. So now in a BPM we have a workflow architecture and we have business rules. All the business rules reside in a database called business rules database, and this business rules will be driven from database to the application by using a program called business rules engine. Everyone clear up to this? Mahendra and Uday?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now,
Kashan.
yeah, thank you.
Good.
So from slide 1 to slide 7, whatever that we have seen about BPM is called a methodology. It's not a reality, it's a methodology. So in this theory, so in this methodology what they told is, hey, you will go ahead and implement your application development by following the workflow architecture and maintain business rules and store all the business rules in a business rules database and drive the business rules from the business rules database to the application by implementing a business logic called business rules engine, then your technology or your tool is set to be, your environment is set to be a BPM tool. Okay, so now why Pega is set to be a BPM tool? Mahendra?
Pega runs on rule based thing, commander.
Yes. So now, so
It is,
is it okay, or is it okay that you got up to here clear? Because I'll go ahead and check today. Maybe tomorrow, today morning only the signal is low. It's not every day, because every day I'll take 3 classes. So are you okay with the what I have told so far, Mahendra and Uday and Teja?
yes,
Yeah, it's okay,
but
good to me.
mostly it is getting a drop. Most of the times it is getting drop. The voice sometimes it is getting drop and then it is coming.
So now are you good, or do you want me to take it later again? Mahendra,
It's
for
good
you.
only, but thing is
Yeah, I'll check. I'll check.
disturbance is there.
I'll check.
Good only,
But in the classes, it will be fine for you.
then we cannot do anything. Yeah.
No. I'll go ahead and check it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Go
So
ahead.
I'll make sure that it won't be broken. Okay. So far, are we good to proceed further, or you want me to?
It's good.
Yeah, we can go ahead and proceed, right?
No. We are further here.
Sorry. Come again.
Yeah, we can go ahead. No issues.
We can proceed, right?
No, we can continue.
Yeah, we can continue. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yes, we can go ahead.
Yeah, so PRPC, so now Pega systems. So Pega has come forward and taken the methodology of BPM and developed its own environment, wherein which it is maintaining the workflow maintaining the workflow architecture, business rules database, and business rules engine. So that's why Pega is said to be a BPM tool. So now what is the equivalent to all these things in Pega? So in Pega, the workflow of the BPM is equivalent to the same name, workflow process. So now business rules, for the business rules, Pega has taken a convention and given the name as Pega rules. Okay, the business rules in BPM, when coming to Pega, you say Pega rules. So now business rules database, when it comes to Pega terminology, you call it is rule base. Okay, and business rules engine, the business logic, the program which drives the rules, when it comes to the Pega terminology, you call it as a process commander. So the equivalent to process is process, business rules is Pega rules, and business rules database is rule base, and the business rules engine is process commander. Okay, so because Pega has implemented all these things, Pega rules process commander is said to be a BPM tool. So now if you divide PRPC into 2 parts, PR is Pega rules, all the rules will reside in a rule base, and PC is the process commander which drives the rules from the rule base to the application. Okay, that is what Pega rules process commander. So everyone clear?
Yes.
So in other words, what is Pega rules process commander, and more importantly, where does it fit in? So it is a comprehensive platform for building and deploying the BPM, CRM, decision management and case management applications. Okay, so what is meant by BPM? So far whatever we have seen. So now what is CRM then? So what is customer relationship management? In CRM again is a different kind of implementation. Who is the market leader in CRM in today's market? I'm talking about, so that you know. CRM.
Yep, CRM. Yep.
CRM Siebel is there in the market,
Yep.
but I think Salesforce is the leader in the CRM today's market. Salesforce. Yes. So now Salesforce has provided or implemented the CRM methodology in the better way to reach the customer. Similarly, so Pega has implemented the BPM methodology in the best way than anyone else in the market. So Pega is an emperor in the BPM world. So why it is like that, I'll tell you. And Pega has also provided CRM solutions. It is up to the better marks. They're going to grow up in the CRM world. Okay, in coming future, they're going to grab the CRM also. Okay, in the better way. Okay, so now decision management and case management works together with BPM and CRM. So in other words, Pega rules process command is a process that focuses on automating the work and powerful automation of the programming. So now, what do you mean by automating the work? So automating the work means in PRPC, the defined work passes through the set of people and set of applications depending on the conditions taken by the process. So that means come here, hey, your card number and PIN number is verified in the system, go ahead and process the transaction. Otherwise, go ahead and end the transaction without giving the money. So here, your business implementation has been automated. So this automation can be done, automation of the work can be done using anywhere in any other technology. It's not a big deal. Okay, so any technology can do this. So it's not a powerful feature. The powerful feature of PRPC is automation of the programming. So because of this automation of the programming, Pega is an emperor in the today's BPM world. So now what do you mean by automation of the program? So in traditional object-oriented programming, we used to write lots and lots of code to achieve the functionality. But PRPC uses a powerful form-based programming model instead of writing lots and lots of code. So here the meaning is automation of the programming means your code is already been predefined, that is built in the system. You go ahead and buy Pegasystems software. The business logic that you want to develop has been already built in the system. So all the business logic that you want to develop for your business application, it has been already built in the system and given to you. You're not required to write even a single line of code. That is what meant by automating the program. So, and whenever you want to code something, it will be providing you a, form-based programming model. Means it will be a UI screen that will be displayed to you. You want to go ahead and implement something, select the methods from the drop downs and pass the parameters. So like that, it will be a form-based programming model. So you're not required to write something on your own. So once you choose this form-based programming model, go ahead and implement that whatever that you want by using the existing predefined logic. In the background, it generates a Java code automatically. You're not required to go ahead and look into the Java code. Okay, you're not required to be a learner of even Java code. So Pega is completely, you need to go ahead and learn Pega as Pega. Okay, so I want a developer who knows Pega. Okay, say suppose because it has been implemented in Java, do I have to have a Java developer? No, I am not required to go ahead and look back into the Java code. I don't need that until and unless I have developed some custom code. And Pega also limits you from writing the custom code. So from Pega 7 onwards, they have achieved a lot and your coding has been completely eliminated. Even from 6.2, it is a very stable version and you are going to not write the Java code whenever you want to implement something. Before and days. So how much time they have taken in order to do. See, there is a lot of business logic, lot of implementation, lot of the requirements that are coming up as per the business. Then how come it is possible for Pega to implement all the business logic in order to automate the program? Is Pega has been developed in 80s, 81. So almost it has taken 36 years for them in order to go ahead and implement, find out all the logics and implement and put it in their system for the providing the customer solutions. Now you may ask me, okay, there are many other BPM tools. Okay, Pega is a proprietary source. You need to spend $1 million. Then why still the clients are going from other BPM instead of other BPM tools? Why they are choosing Pega? So only because of this reason. The reason is like you're not required to write a code. Your applications can be implemented in a rapid manner as per the business changes in the market. Quickly, your application should be adaptable in order to implement that kind of business by using the existing logic. And you will not see any of the application issues. Only you may see compile time issues. Runtime issues, if you get who will support you? See, if you get runtime issues, that might be the problem with, so data, if it is data, you go ahead and check with the customer. So if it is an issue with environment itself, you will just get back to the Pega, they will do it in minutes. So why still Pega is in the market, like people are choosing Pega instead of other free tools by spending $1 million to it is like, so when you take any project, the development and maintenance, if you divide these two things cost wise, which is more costlier, development or maintenance? So which will take a lot of money from you? Hey, how come it is development? Maintenance. Maintenance is for years. Okay. So go ahead and develop the application. Okay, 1 crore it has been taken, 1 crore rupees, if you say INR. Okay, for maintenance, it will be for lifetime. You need to upgrade, you need to do many of the things. Okay, it will be crores of money, hundreds of crores. Okay, now what Pega has done is they have reversed this. Okay, So how they have reversed is, they have given the logic, okay, go ahead and get any issues, I'll support you. Okay, I'll support you. You're not required to maintain a support person in order to work with the business logic wise issues. If it is the implementation issues, go ahead and work with your developers. That will be very easy for you. So now you put a lot of money for development, and the support, you're not required to hire any guys. 1 or 2 people for 30 developers is enough. For 30 developers using any other technology, you need hundreds of people in the support. You may need 100 or 200 sometimes. If 30 developers are going to sit on a development, you need at least 150 to 200 support. And now they just reversed it. You go ahead and get the 30 developers, 1 support guy is enough for you. Okay, so your maintenance cost of the application has been completely reduced. So for a long term wise, you will earn a lot. Okay, you'll be in profits when you take it using even $1 million. Okay, so this is the only reason of implementation of the business logic by predefining it in the system, that is called automation of the programming. Pega is an emperor in the BPM world. So there are many other BPM tools. Why can't they achieve it? So for these people to complete this one, they have taken 36 years. So any other person comes in the market, okay, this tool has been developed, I'll reverse engineer and develop in 10 years and I'll achieve the same thing. So within this 10 years span of time, where Pega will be now? So they will move ahead a lot. So again, it is difficult. So only because of this reason, there is no other competitor in the BPM world for Pega. So Pega is just acting as a monopoly in the BPM world because of this automation of the program. Yeah, I agree. So backend it is OOPS concept, Java, everything. But still, you're not required to do any programming. I don't need a program technical guy. I need someone who can learn the tool and implement it very quickly. It will be done. There won't be any programmatic issues in your application while the application is running.
Java. Why Java cannot develop?
Yeah, see why Java cannot. See, if you go and sit in the Java, you need to go ahead and write your code. Okay, so your maintenance, see whatever that you code, you will see issues in future. Maintenance wise, you will see a lot of issues. But there is no such, you are not writing any code. Code is already been written. It has been thoroughly tested by many of the people. It has been thoroughly implemented. You will not get any issues. Okay, you find any gap, go back to Pega, they will provide you the solution immediately. Yeah, go ahead and tell me what is that.
How the logics of different logics are implemented using any methods or
yeah, there will be methods similar to Java. There will be methods. Yeah, in order to implement the logic, business logic, there will be methods. You need to use the existing methods and pass the parameters to it. That's it. You are not required to look back into the method, what code has been written. And anyway, you cannot look into that method code, that will not be given to you, even to see. Yeah, Mahinder.
Okay, if there is any customized logic, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah,
if we want to customize the logic, how it can be implemented?
Yeah, see, mostly in the implementation, say suppose I want to send an email notification to my customers. Okay, even without attachments or with attachments. Okay. So it will be same everywhere you write the code. So that has been given to me. I want to validate something. Okay, user has entered a pin code number. When it comes to the validation part in India, it is different from US, it is different from Australia. So they cannot do all these things. Maybe they will sit and find out all the countries and implement and give you as per your country's requirement. They can do that. For US and all, they have given. If it is the other country which requires more logic, you need to go ahead and change the existing code. Only in this place, you need Java code. Other than this validation part, you don't need any. See, even this validation is automated. Everything you can use from the existing. In very rare scenarios, validation should be customized much. Okay, in that scenarios, you will hire a Java resource and he will work on that. Okay, even with Pega 7, that is also been eliminated. They almost find everything and everything has been developed with Pega 7. Okay, so now even still there will be gaps. 100% logic no one can develop, right? Okay, I need my this one postal code to be validated and do some operation later on that based on my company's requirement. Okay, I cannot identify it. Okay, say suppose you identify it and go back to Pega. In future, when they are providing a software to your company, they will give that particular business code to you. They will keep it aside and give you. It's not a big deal, right? So like that, they're going into the market. Okay, like this, till 36 years, they did a lot of research, they got feedbacks from the customer and implemented logic by logic, and they put it like it's a Pega Ocean in today's world. Okay, this is the reason only why because of the automation of the programming, there is no other competitor for Pega in the today's BPM world. Okay, so clear? Okay, so now, well, coming to the Pega rules process commanders architecture. Okay, so as I told you, it has business rules rule base and process commander, and we have different roles involved. And it has compiled Java rules cache Java factory. Java compiler is required. Why Java compiler is required is the code that is being business logic, only business logic that is being implemented internally uses Java compiler because it has been developed using Java. So similar to this, for user interface implementation, Pega uses HTML with 6 version and HTML5 with 7. Similar to these two, we have 19 technologies almost involved in Pega development, environment development, like Silverlight, Microsoft Visual .NET, something like that. Wherever it is being used, it is pretty less used. 99.9% it is used Java for business logic, and for UI purpose HTML5 or HTML. Okay, remaining things somewhere in the tool, they have used different technologies. Okay, so initially, as far as I know, Pega has been developed using C language. Okay, so later, so it has been developed in C language, a module, and it's been, what I heard, is given to some other one of the biggest banking client called Citibank. So later it has been developed into CPP, converted to CPP, and from CPP to Java. Once it comes to the Java, it has been stabled in the market. So with the version of Pega 6.2, so it is very stable in the BPM world. 6.1 and before versions, 6.1 also almost good, 70% is been achieved, and before that you need to write the code. Okay, later they automated. Today with Pega 7, you are not even drag and drop for designing the UI. Okay, the UI is also been automated in the development. Okay, that's how it is going into the market. So it has XML clipboards. So that means the input that you give, the output that you get from the system, internally it will be converted into XML data structure. So why it is been XML they are using is, it is for the purpose of security, I can say. So XML data structure is more secure on the web. Okay, that's why they are using XML clipboards. So now the integration part can be done using Pega. You can go ahead and integrate with any other applications by using concept of web services that can be implemented. We are going to practically see that. So you're going to communicate with web applications which are there on the web, send the request and get the response back, parse it, and whatever that is related to the web services we are going to learn here practically. Okay, so this is what the architecture of PRPC. In the words, it is built on Java, it uses XML data structures and runs on leading JT application servers like WebSphere, WebLogic, and Tomcat. Okay, in order to run the application, you need an application server. For that, you can use WebSphere, WebLogic, and Tomcat in the enterprise version. In the home version, we are going to work on Tomcat. Okay, and now this architecture supports established and emerging standards of transport and formatting of the data, supports EJB, SOAP, COM, COBRA, MQ3s like that. So you can use different protocols in order to make the web service calls, or in order to create services in your application. You can use all the protocols which will be provided in the market. Okay, so now the rules reside in a single relational database instance is known as rule base. That means all the business rules, as I told you, reside in a relational database is called rule base. This open database architecture supports Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle also as a rule base. As a rule base, in our home version, we are going to use DB2. Okay, and this can be integrated into a separate relational database via Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and IBM DB2. That means I want to connect to a third-party database. Okay, and for that also you can use Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and IBM DB2. So these are the major servers. Other than this, any other database you can communicate with. Okay, and it provides a single integrated thin client environment for building, testing, and using the applications. So if you want to go ahead and develop the applications, this is the only environment where in which you will design, develop, deploy, and generate the reports, everything on the same environment as the BPM says Pega is following. So this is what the architecture of PRPC, and this is what about Pega Rules Process Commander and its features, and BPM, and about this methodology and the features of BPM, and why Pega is said to be a BPM tool. So anyone has any questions?
Harsha, I couldn't understand these last two slides.
This is the architecture slides. Okay, you just hang on. You have any other questions? Mahender and Uday?
No, Harsha.
I'll repeat.
Actually, Harsha,
Yes.
our main flow of work depends on a workflow business logic. Is it correct?
Yes, correct.
Flow chart.
Yes, flowchart. Correct.
And the flow chart is implemented by the
Developer.
process commander.
No. It's
What's
by
the
developer. You need to design the flow. You need to design the flow. So you're going to learn it in Pega. Okay, you need to design the flow. How you design it will be executed in the same way. So as per your understanding of the implementation, you need to go ahead and design. So you'll be slowly learning how to design one by one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So now, Teja, so this is the architecture of PRPC. In this architecture, we have rule base, process commander, and we have Java compiler. Okay, and XML clipboards. Ante, so మనం ఇచ్చే ఇన్పుట్ టు అవుట్పుట్ అంతా PRPC లో ఇంటర్నల్ గా XML clipboards గా కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది. మీరు షో పేజ్ అనే మెథడ్ యూజ్ చేస్తే తేజ నువ్వు ఇంతకుముందు ఆల్రెడీ తెలుసు కాబట్టి షో పేజ్ మెథడ్ లో చూపిస్తారు కదా అవుట్పుట్ అంతా XML లో అదనమాట. సో వెబ్ సర్వీసెస్ ని మనం యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు బై యూజింగ్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్స్. అర్థమైందా? ఇదే ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ హియర్ ఐ హావ్ గివెన్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ వర్డ్స్ అంతే. అర్థమైందా?
అసలు ఈ రూల్ బేస్ ప్రాసెస్ హలో
చెప్పు
హలో
ఎస్ తేజ ఐ కెన్ హియర్ యూ.
రూల్ బేస్ ప్రాసెస్ కమాండ్ వెబ్ సర్వర్ అదంతా ఏంటో ఏం తెలియదు కదా.
రూల్ బేస్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు పెగాలో వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ యూ క్రియేట్ ఇన్ BPM ఇస్ ఎ రూలర్. All the rules will be saved in a database that is called rule base. So database లో సేవ్ అవుతుంది అంతే. అది DB2 database. Here you call a DB2 database as a rule base. Okay, now process commander is a business logic which will pick the rules from the database to the application. BRE, business rules engine. Okay, so it's a program which will communicate between your database and your tool front end, so which will communicate with your database and tool front end. This is what process commander. అర్థమైందా ఇప్పుడు తేజ?
మరి అలాంటప్పుడు BRE అనే పెట్టొచ్చు కదా, PC అని ఎందుకు?
See, now why they did not give the name BRE? See, there is in the market we have IBM. See, if IBM is also giving BRE, Pega is also giving BRE, so what is the difference? I want to call my implementation as process commander. Yeah, with my own conventional name, process commander. When you say process commander, okay, this BRE belongs to Pega. When you say some other name, okay, this BRE belongs to IBM. So like that. Okay. అర్థమైందా తేజ?
Okay.
So application server is something. See, if I want to run the application on the web, I need a server to be hosted. To host my application, I need a server. So like this, Pega environment. Pega is an application, environment is an application to develop applications. So on these applications, your applications runs. So I need to ultimately host this application on a server. I need to copy paste this application onto a server. So the server will run the application, bring up the application. So for that I need an application server like WebSphere or Logic and Tomcat. So on this server only applications always runs. So like application is an environment which see, application is an environment. So this environment will be copy pasted into another environment which is called application server. Okay, application server, once it is up, you should be able to access the application. Okay, there will be a server team which is working on the application server issues. Okay. Mahender, you have any questions?
మనం డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడే
Yeah, see the difference between
No,
the difference between normal application development and PRP's application development is, see, you will develop the applications in the development environment and then you will deploy to the target server. I do not mean to say that here the target is a production. Production is a different server. So you will develop on your local machine and then deploy it to your local server. But the difference in PRPC is your PRPC is already hosted on the local server. On the server, application server itself, you will develop the applications. That means in a production, you can go ahead and directly change the application, directly code it and save it and check in, it will be running. You're not required to do the implementation on an Eclipse and then host it on the server. It's not like that. It has been already hosted on the server. You're going to develop the applications on the hosted application. Okay, you will better understand this once you start working on it.
But how,
Yeah, tell me, Mahendra.
if there is any impact on existing functionality? Hello?
Obviously, there will be an impact
This is the
on existing functionality, right? Obviously, there will be an impact. See,
How it can be assessed?
yeah, I'll tell you. There is a process in order to check in, check out, you know, right? When you check in the code only, other
Yes.
people will access. Check out means it's only been accessible to you. Okay?
Yes.
So that is, when you are doing some update to it on the server, to the existing logic, you will check out. Only you will see that. Okay? Other people will see old code, that is already been checking. Until and unless you check in it, other people will not get any disturbance in their development or accessing the application. Okay? So once you check it,
Once check in and check out, is there any other separate tool or any
No.
we can use in the Pega itself?
See, Pega is the tool wherein which you will do all the implementation, check-in, checkouts, versioning,
Okay.
deployments, everything can be done on the single tool, even the performance analysis.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the integration of all the things. Uday, you have any questions? Teja, make a
Yeah, I'm
question.
good, Asha.
Teja.
నాకు ఇది మనం డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడే మనం టామ్ క్యాట్ సర్వర్ ఇవన్నీ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకుంటాం కదా, మళ్ళీ కాపీ చేయడం ఏంటి? మళ్ళీ ఎందులో కాపీ చేసిన అప్లికేషన్ కాపీ చేసి సర్వర్ టార్గెట్ సర్వర్ కి ఇస్తామని చెప్పి.
Yeah, if you develop the applications in a development environment on a development server, in order to make it available to the live environment production, there will be another server. You will copy from here and paste it there. That is called the process of deployment we're going to learn later. Okay, so copy the code here and paste it onto another server. Yeah, target server, production server, so that users can lively access that. Okay, Teja, I will take up again another class for you.
మళ్ళీ వేరే
I'll explain all these things. Yeah, go ahead and ask me, what is that you're asking? Teja, అడగండి.
యా ఓకే, తర్వాత చెప్పండి నాకు.
యా పర్వాలేదు, వీళ్ళకైతే యాక్చువల్గా తెలుసు, మహేందర్ వాళ్ళకి, ఉదయ్ వాళ్ళకి. పర్వాలేదు, అడగండి, చెప్తా, కంప్లీట్ చేసేద్దాం ఇక్కడే మళ్ళీ.
దే ఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ వర్కింగ్ రైట్, దట్స్ వై దే నో.
అందుకే మీరు అడగండి, నేను చెప్తానంటున్నా. ఇప్పుడు అడిగేయండి, చెప్పేస్తా.